All right, let's talk about a real-world production nightmare. This is the story of a silent failure. The kind of bug where everything on the surface looks perfectly fine, but underneath, your system is completely broken. It's about how one single hard-coded rule quietly took down our entire order system.
So put yourself in the user's shoes. You click the Cancel Order button. From your perspective, everything seems to work. The button clicks, the UI doesn't throw an error, it looks like a success. But in reality, the system had already rejected that request in the background. The failure was completely and totally silent.
So let's really unpack this silent failure. We're going to look at this from the user's point of view first, because that's where the pain was really felt. And honestly, these invisible bugs, they are an absolute nightmare to track down.
Okay, let's walk through this step by step. First, the user sees the cancel button. Totally normal. Second, they click it, and the system seems to accept it. No error message, nothing. But then, step 3 is where it all falls apart. An internal validation, deep in the back end, silently blocks the request. The user has no idea this just happened. And the result? Step 4. Our operations team gets flooded with orders that need to be handled manually. A total mess.
So, the big question is, what on earth was actually going on back there? Why was such a simple action failing in such a mysterious way? Well, we had to find out. Let's dig in.
So when we finally got to the bottom of it, the root cause wasn't some incredibly complex algorithm bug. Nope. It was something much, much simpler, and frankly, a whole lot more dangerous. It was a hard-coded mistake.
And there it is. This one line of code was the source of all our problems. A simple if-else statement. The logic was dead simple. If the order came from our main core portal, then yeah, allow the cancellation. For anything else, just block it. Simple, right? Maybe a little too simple.
And here's where that simple logic completely broke down. See, as long as every single order came from our internal core portal, everything was fine. But the business grew. We integrated a new external app to take orders, and boom, the system silently started blocking all their cancellations because it was never designed to know about them.
This is a textbook grade A example of technical debt. Now, the easy fix, right, would be to just add another condition, or source equals external app. But that's not a solution. That's just taking on more debt. It means every time a new partner comes on board, it's another code change, another deployment, and another risk. You're just kicking the can down the road, and that is not scalable engineering.
And this really hammers home a fundamental truth that we had to learn the hard way. When your business rules are buried inside your code, your system becomes rigid. It can't adapt. And as your business grows and changes, these hard-coded systems, well, they're guaranteed to collapse.
Look, if you have ever been in the trenches hunting down an invisible bug like this one, you know the pain. Go ahead, hit that like button. And you should definitely subscribe because this is what we do here. We break down real system failures. Okay, so with all that said, how did we actually fix this for good?
The real solution wasn't just another patch. It was a fundamental shift in our thinking. We needed to move away from hard-coding rules and instead build a flexible, config-driven solution. We basically turned this business rule into a feature flag.
Here's what the new design looks like. We pulled the business rule completely out of the application code and put it into a simple configuration table like this. It could be in a database, a config file, whatever. Now, to enable cancellation for a source, we just add a row and set the flag to Y. That's it. Simple.
And just look at how much cleaner the actual code becomes. We got rid of that brittle if-else logic. Now, the code doesn't care what the source is called, it just does one thing. It looks up the source in our new config table and asks, is the flag Y? If it is, we proceed. It's clean, it's simple, and it's totally dynamic.
And the real win here, the big prize, is the long-term benefit. This approach totally decouples the business logic from the application code. And that is so important. It means the product or operations teams can turn on a new partner without a single line of code being changed or deployed. This makes our code base simpler and prevents this exact kind of bug from ever happening again.
So, let's talk about the real-world impact. Because this change wasn't just about fixing a bug, it was about truly engineering a system that was ready for the future.
I mean, this chart says it all, doesn't it? The old way of onboarding a new source involved code changes, pull requests, testing, deployment, a huge effort. The new way? It's literally just adding one entry to a config table. We're talking about a process that took days or weeks, now taking minutes. It's a game changer for our operational speed.
The results were pretty incredible. And honestly,
immediate. That painful manual work for the ops team? Gone. Onboarding new partners without a single code change? Check. We rolled this out with 0 regressions. And maybe most importantly, our system's behavior is now stable and predictable. No more surprises.
And this brings us right to the core lesson of this whole thing. Your business is never going to stand still. It's always growing, always changing. If your system is rigid, if it's built in a way that resists change, it's not going to survive. You absolutely have to build for change.
So I'll leave you with this one thought. Are you just writing code that works today, or are you engineering solutions that will thrive tomorrow? If you're interested in learning how to do the second one, you know what to do. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.